Yay!
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Double
Hello.
Defense. It is December 31st. It is the last day of 2023. We are very grateful to have you join us. And on behalf of the whole team, we wanted to wish everybody a very happy and successful 2024. We have some very special guests with us today for our last episode of the year. We have Michelle, who is our correspondent at large, who is in Florida, who just went to see the Rangers play the Florida Panthers. Unfortunately, it was a loss for the Rangers, but we'll get the full assessment from her about how that game was. We also have with us Matt, who hopes the Oilers step on Legos. And we definitely want to hear more about why that is. So
it's a family affair today, you know.
It is.
So it's all family related, you know, and we'll have to get Sarah's family in here too at some point. Even they just peek their head in and be like, "Yo," and then we and definitely have to do more of that. But yeah, cheers to 2023. We're closing it in a great fashion, I think. So we had Michelle going to a game. It's been a while since I've been to a game because the Rangers are far away, but they're coming soon.
But they're coming west soon.
A couple weeks.
Yeah, so there's a lot of scrambling for plans and figuring out, who's going to be where and when, and hopefully we see some really good wins on the road because the Rangers have been playing very well on the road. So
Matt knows that, and Matt's been to a couple games here, so Matt knows that whole feeling about not doing well on the road.
The other way around, doing well on the road,
doing well on the road.
Yeah, so just for anyone joining us, Matt is our resident Kings fan who will share exactly about how the Kings are doing, including their very good road record this year. Less so at home, which bodes well for when the Rangers come on, I think, January 20th.
Yep, got a couple weeks.
So without further ado, the Rangers played the Florida Panthers on Friday, December 29th. Ultimately, it was a win for the Panthers. They won 4-3 over the Rangers. There were some good moments for the Rangers, but unfortunately not enough good moments. So I would love to ask Michelle, tell us about your experience. Tell us about the game. What did you see? What have you learned? What did you notice? Did Kreider and Zibanejad hug it all? I mean, really, these are the burning questions.
I know they do, but ESPN cuts it off.
Every time. Every time. I completely agree.
Literally, they're like, "Here, we're going to get right here." Bam, they're gone.
Yep.
It happened last night, and I was recording it, and of course, it also recorded my response to that too. So how was that game? Let's get your take on that, Michelle. I'm curious to see what your point of view was.
Well,
I had a bunch of friends there.
I'm going to say several things. So the first thing I'm going to say is there was a lot of action. It was not a boring
Rangers
game.
Fans there too, huh?
Yeah, lots of Rangers. Oh, but wait a minute. I want to compare and contrast my last year game to this year game.
Oh, okay.
Having said that, this year there were way more Panther fans. And, when they bring out the skate out, when they just first begin, let's hear it for the cats. They call it the cats.
Oh, rawr. It's Christine's favorite.
First of all, when they sing the Star Spangled Banner and they have the word red, everybody screams because that's their color, clearly. And but clearly there were more Panther fans. That's what I felt compared to last year. It was like heavy duty Rangers. Having said that, it's because the Panthers really are coming off of a 2023 win. I mean, basically, they didn't make it to the Stanley Cup, but they certainly got. Certainly, there's a lot more people there. So I felt. I felt that. Don't forget that the Rangers. It's good for the Rangers. The prediction was that the Rangers would win because the Rangers were coming in at 24-8-1, whereas the Florida Panthers were coming in at 20-12-2. And Rangers, of course, first in the Metropolitan, second in the Atlantic. And the Panthers had just come off a 3-2 win with Tampa. So I think that they were pumped. And then I just read recently that they also played yesterday. So I think they just beat Montreal. Is that possible? Yesterday? Friday, today's Sunday, yeah, because we went
We were
Friday.
in Florida the whole weekend. So
No, she's saying that the Panthers just beat Montreal yesterday.
Oh,
The Panthers
did they?
did.
I think so.
Yeah, they beat Montreal 4-1.
Yeah, so they're really
They're
pumped, the
doing good.
Florida Panthers.
Yeah,
They,
yeah.
they really are. And I would say that the fans were very into it. No question about it. What else did I want to say? Let me see. Oh,
I mean, the
here we go.
Panthers had a bit of I would say, a Cinderella season last year, where they made
certainly
it.
did.
They made it into the playoffs by the seat of their pants, and somehow made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. It's pretty impressive, all things
Well,
considered.
the Panthers have a player by the name of Sam Reinhart, and he's their big scorer. And he didn't disappoint. He scored 2 goals I think pretty much right from the get-go. And the team is very solid. They played well. The Panthers were that good. And they're coming off, like I said, of 2 big wins. Very nice thing about them is it's 20 minutes from where I live. So you have so many New York people, and it's nice to have a local team, so close, and then you could watch your Rangers. So that's kind of one of the good things about it. I said that a lot of action, like I said. What else did I want to say? I want to say about the sum up of the different periods, because the first period was quiet and then they all started to score. That's kind of how it went. The end of the first period,
Mr. Miller.
the Panthers scored 1 goal, and then the second period, I think it was 0-2, then 1-2, then 2-2. And then in the third period, the Rangers scored and tied with 6 minutes left, and then the Panthers scored. So that was kind of the way it played out and the final, of course, was 4-3. Is that good so far? That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that was really good, and it was a good game. Like it was a close game.
I have a drink pairing, but I'll save it for. I'll save that for later. Unless you're dying for it right now.
I actually, for that game, I chose a mocktail. It's just kind of getting ready for the new year and stuff. For the Panther game, that was my drink pairing for the game.
Oh.
I actually got a really nice response from the company too. So
what's that?
It was the mocktail I chose. The company kind of responded very favorably, and retweeted our post. So, or wait, the mocktail was yesterday, wasn't it? No, I chose any drink and a make your own drink name kind of thing yesterday. So the mocktail was for the game. It was, just because we figured we were vamping up for the new year. We'll probably all be drunk by 11:30 tonight and done. So cheers to that. So good. It's a good game. I listening to it, and I know Liz and I were watching it. It was loud. Both games since the Rangers were in Florida had a great. I love seeing the representation of the Rangers. I think we're the only fan base that we can actually hear, be heard in every single arena.
I saw something on the internet today that the Rangers have 6 home arenas, and that Florida is one of them, because we have Madison Square Garden, where we have wherever it is the Devils play, the Nassau Coliseum / Islanders, the 2 Florida arenas, and then there was one other that is basically a Rangers home arena.
LA, maybe? No.
LA, I'd say LA is like. What would you say, Matt, when the last time we went to a Rangers-Kings game? I would say
Rangers fans show up, not in the capacity that I think Rangers fans are hoping, but I'd say it's 80-20 ratio.
I would say
pretty sizable. Yeah.
I would say maybe a little bit more. Maybe it's like 30-70.
I know you would.
Yeah, because and then there's always and then the one
on the day of the
fan.
week too.
There's always one Nordiques fan at every game, just throwing that whole
whalers. That's our goal.
I want to say one thing about the Panthers, about their goalie. The team. I mean, clearly the fans love him, because they keep shouting, Bobby, Bobby. Now, that's not his name, but his name is something else, like something like Bobrowski or something like that. So,
People can't
yeah,
say that.
they're into this Bobby, right? That was cute.
It's
Of
easier
course,
to
that
chant
was
that
good.
than
Anyway,
chanting's great.
I
And
want,
let's talk
I want
about the
to
goalie.
tell you, I just
You
want to
saw
tell you,
history being made. Michelle, did you realize
what's that?
that?
I'm
You saw
sorry, what'd you
history
say?
being made. I mean, it really was the save of the year. Did you was it not a commotion at the rink? And it was when Quick made that amazing save, went down, and then stopped the pad like with
I
the
saw
back
that.
of his shin.
Yeah.
and
So
and,
unreal,
and
dude.
stopped
So
it
unreal.
was crazy. And actually, when they replayed it, it was the back of his pad, which is not covered. So he actually stopped that second shot with the back of his shin. And Matt, you might know this because I was watching them say that wasn't the first time he's done that save. What do they call that? The butterfly? I forget.
The scorpion, I think.
The
Scorpion, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
The scorpion.
Yeah.
He's on his stomach and it's like flips back. It's amazing.
Quick does it all the time in the shootout. All the time. Well, I wouldn't say all the time.
Crazy like that. He goes
Whenever-
down and out and drives me nuts.
Whenever
He
he
was-
gets beaten but needs a lifeline, he always does it in the shootout.
He was so good. He didn't deserve to lose that game. I really felt that in how the Rangers were playing. I thought there were a lot of stupid defensive moves, and also just a lot of times like there would be a breakaway and then they would fan on the shot. Like there were just some really disappointing moments for the Rangers in that game. But I think Quick
The
played
Rangers had a lot
exceptionally
of
good.
breakaways. They did. They had a lot of breakaways. And
Yeah, that they didn't score.
They didn't score, and that was a big disappointment. And just watching that, and especially watching the recap, because when you watch it at the game, I mean, clearly you don't know everything, you miss too much. But on the recap, and as I watched it again, I saw that, yes, in fact, that there were times that looked like they could score and they just couldn't. So
Yeah,
there you go. May I give you my drink pairing?
Yes, please.
Well, there's a drink. No, I really picked it because I just like the name of the drink. But I'm gonna tell you what it is. Of course you do. The name of the drink is called the Wet Kitty, and I thought it was a very, cute name. But now you see,
adorable.
It comes with the round.
It comes with the cats, right? But I thought that the Wet Kitty would be appropriate since the Rangers were going to be beating the Cats. But as it turned out, no, it wasn't. So we're going to reverse it and call the Wet Kitty.
This is going in all different directions in my mind right now.
Yeah, same.
Okay. But you say, well, what is a Wet Kitty? Okay.
I
It's
haven't really said
popular.
that yet.
Oh my god.
Now we're going to find out what is a wet kitty, Michelle.
Okay, let's go ahead. She's mortified.
Stop it,
Okay.
Christine.
We're learning so much from you, Michelle. You
wait.
have so much to teach us.
There's more. And we're
It's
all going to do
popular
our
in-
Greek names right now too, so you can learn how crazy that is.
When you publish the podcast, you have to check the explicit box and like.
I always do just
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
What's
I really
about
call
it?
that.
Oh my god, my
Okay.
face is so red.
Can I tell you?
Okay, what is a
Yes.
wet kitty, Michelle?
Yeah, I mean, don't you want to know?
I
It's
do.
alcohol, peach, cranberry, and lime. Okay,
It's
that's
alcohol? It's
Wait,
alcohol.
what
It's
is it?
alcohol, and I guess any kind of alcohol.
Any alcohol.
Peach, cranberry, and lime. It's a Florida drink called a Wet Kitty.
What do
There
you drink?
go.
What do you drink that in, Michelle?
I don't know. I never had one. But, of course, the other ones are tequila and martini, the 90 miles from Cuba mojito, the rum runner.
No, this is definitely
damn it.
by far the best drink pairing that I think this one could have.
Most of me.
You
Need to post
like
it.
that?
It's great.
Need to-
Promise me to look it up and see it's a real drink. Okay.
I don't
Oh, we
think you should
believe
Google
you. I
that.
think that's good. Hey,
What's
while
that?
we're on the topic of drinks, I did do a drink pairing where I had just for yesterday's game just to do people to make up their cocktail names, and it was hilarious. I got it going on Facebook on my page and our page, and some of the things that have come back have been so fun. Michelle, what's your birth month? When you're born.
Oh, one. Yeah, my birthday's next week, actually, a week from today.
Oh,
Oh.
January.
Happy early
So
birthday,
one
Michelle.
time.
Happy
So-
birthday.
Okay.
So you're happy. So find your cocktail name. So Michelle, your cocktail name would be Royal Snot. Mine is a sweaty nipple. Matthew's would be Royal Orgasm. Not a
I'm
problem.
the flaming mind blower.
Family friendly podcast, by the way.
What was yours?
We never claim to be family friendly.
I'm flaming mind blower.
You're the flaming mind blower.
I
Did
am,
you do yours, Liz?
Yeah, mine was like Einstein's slop knot or something. Ben's was good. Ben's was a unicorn's liver, which is
Oh,
so
nice.
perfect because that is what he has.
I think somebody put like theirs was like what was it like one was something like kiss my chest or whatever it was. They were like it's going to be like vodka with a quick follow-up shot of a whiff of a Vicks vapor up, and so the comments have been hysterical. Someone was like, what the frick is a squelcher? So they're like, be right back, I'm going to Google, and so like the comments have been hilarious. If you get a chance, check it out on Facebook. Under the ladies of the NHL page is where I put it. That's where I'm getting all these fun comments and just some of the the people's drinks to have fun. So it's definitely a fun way to a lot of people participate. Thank you for all our all the followers that are really into it, like our stuff and comment back on things because they're so silly and fun, and it definitely makes you laugh and puts a smile on your face. And and it's perfect with the timing of your pairing because that fit in perfectly with these other ones, and it sounds fun.
Oh, okay.
And it can be legal.
Mhm.
So we'll have to work
Okay.
on now, like, Michelle, down there, I would think that you would find very interesting kind of shot glasses, containers, things like that. So let me put you on a mission to find some things to drink our drinks in for the new year. I'm sure you can find some.
Okay.
Yeah, cool little
All right.
tiki glass.
Oh, they have there's lots of that. They have good swag also at the Panthers game. I have to tell you, all kinds of things. Yeah. Mhm.
So that was
Like
it was fun.
like a free car wash, that type of good
Oh,
stuff. Things to go on, right?
So I did have I saw a lot of friends of mine that did a road trip down there. So they went both to the Panthers game and to the Tampa Bay Lightning game, which was fun. Yesterday's game was great.
Oh, really?
We ended our playing year with a win, sitting pretty in the top spot, which I don't think we want at the end of the year. No one really wants to get that President's Trophy because it's a little jinx. So we want to ride the wave as far as we can and be in a good place to do. We are going to be marked. So kind of going into the new year, we can see that. I think I saw that in the Panthers game. I think both teams could have done better. But we are going to start seeing that, especially when, some of these lower teams that are starting to get hungry for stuff are going to want to, just see what they can do to beat a top team. I mean, we're not the only ones that people are playing. We're, and other teams are losing. Boston's playing today, and hopefully they lose because then we'll really kind of, I was kind of looking for that breakaway win on Saturday, and it didn't happen. So we would have just broken away from the pack a little bit. And that's the second time we've had that opportunity. So that gets a little frustrating for me.
And also, let me just add, Christine, like the schedule that the Rangers have in the second half of the season is not an easy schedule. There are a lot of in-conference and in-division games that are going to be happening. I think we face the Devils, the Penguins, the Bruins, like multiple times.
North Carolina is Tuesday. So that's where we lost all our players, was to the game against them earlier. So that actually Tuesday would be really interesting to see. Are we going to have some revenge nudges? Little friendly hugs. Are we gonna see them come out with a vengeance too, to kind of defend their honor with what they've done? Tuesday's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, yeah, and then coming up on the West Coast, the Canucks are coming east, so they're playing the Rangers on Monday, January 8th, and the Canucks are doing incredibly well. I would love to actually hear Sarah's take on Vancouver, because obviously they had a lot of changes last year. They didn't do very well last year, and this year they seem like they're just this like
they just
unstoppable
flew
force
up the ladder and kind of incognito, with everybody focusing on, Boston and Vegas and then us. And all of a sudden it's like, wait, what? So,
and they had a coaching change.
Yeah. I think that's probably the biggest factor. I think they have a new coach. He's obviously being listened to internally. I can kind of just like give you the bird's eye view because I haven't been paying a lot of attention to them, but they're in like every conversation when you're listening to highlights or just comments on hockey in general every morning. They're definitely like a sleeper team, I think, coming up. Like no one has high expectations of them, but they're pulling it together. They're playing really well. It's enough to get some sort of comment on them in general if you're not following them on a daily basis. I did watch Toronto and Carolina last night, which was like so boring. There was nothing else to watch though. Seriously. And like Rod Brindamore has not been quiet about how challenging I think the year has been for him and his players. And there's a lot going on there. I don't really know if they've pinpointed what's going on there, but he's been quite vocal just in general about the performance, and yet they still continue to beat Toronto. But even watching the players, watching the game, it was not a great game. It was so boring. But even watching the stands last night, nobody looked like super engaged in that game, whether you were a player, whether you were commentating, or whether you were a fan. So just in general, I don't know if it's just like that kind of time of year where everyone's just kind of resetting, right? That's like kind of the big take for this time of the year. But yeah, I don't know. Vancouver, I think, is one of those teams that we're going to watch. They're probably picking up some heat where Edmonton is leaving. They're all over the place in Edmonton. So, and I can't wait to hear Matt's take on it. I missed that game last night. I started to watch the beginning of the Edmonton LA game, but
I'm really excited to play the Canucks. We haven't yet because of this stupid schedule, but it is circled on my calendar. Yeah. I can't wait to measure up against them.
Yeah, and also just kind of flipping back, I'm going to let you go, but I don't want to lose this because we have breaking news today. But both, and it's interesting because both North Carolina and Toronto, I mean, North Carolina have some goalie issues, right? And so we are seeing news today that Samsonov is being put on waivers. So now you've got some couple, I mean, these are goalies. I mean, so we've seen some goalie issues. Both with North Carolina and now with Toronto too. So.
Well, and Toronto, the big rumor with Fleury. I mean, that hasn't been the first time they've talked about that. It'd be really interesting to see what they do there.
Hey, and there's other rumors too with your man in Pittsburgh, maybe moving too. So we want to keep an eye on that going into into 2024. So we'll follow that and the rumors and the thoughts going on with that. But yeah, Matt, so talk about the Kings now, because the Kings are kind of right there too, but they're in completely different division. So your biggest competitor is Vegas, and Vegas hasn't been winning a lot. They're kind of dropping a little bit.
The Kings are pretty good, but they've been having kind of an off month, even though their points percentage is a little over 600. Their offense has just kind of dipped a little bit, and whether or not that's getting settled or teams are figuring them out or whatever you could possibly say, but the Kings have been kind of off. Last night they essentially they tied to the Oilers. They lost to them in the shootout, and they played an awful 2 periods. The Kings are having a hard time playing a full 60 minutes. Despite them having a very good, highs being highs and lows being lows. They just lost to Vegas on the road 2 days ago as well. Two very tough opponents, two opponents that we should be beating if we want to make it past the first or second rounds. But we're just not measuring up currently right now because it's such an off month. The Oilers, I think, are one of the hottest teams in the league right now. I think they're 12-3 in their last 15. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs.
They started off slow.
Yeah,
And
I
McDavid
think
was
they could
out,
even
for a bit in the beginning there too. So
And the
if they,
goalies.
right.
Yeah.
If they can keep up this trajectory, I think I see them fighting for the division title. Maybe like very down the road, early April. Yeah, it's just I hate to see them be this good. I really do. Their award don't go away. You know.
that'll be an interesting thing to follow too, is these like divisional
Mhm.
kind of matchups and stuff, because I think I think everyone agrees we have the toughest one, and I feel like we don't even get a break sometimes, and then they bunch us all up playing, so we have to
Mhm.
fight for our lives just to kind of. We could have, right now we've got a nice lead with our own division, so but that can
We're-
be taken away in
In
hard.
terms of games played, we're very behind. Vancouver
Yeah.
has 4 more games than the Kings. Vegas, who is also above us, have 3 more games than the Kings.
We were talking about that too, because like the Rangers kind of had a week off. They had a week off after they did their Canadian tour, and we've now been kind of chasing these points, which I think is a good position to be in, because even though we might not be first, we've got 2-3 games in hand, from the Canucks, and and even Vegas, we're still behind, and we're even right now with Boston. And I think it's a good place to sit in, to kind of see where we need to be versus waiting for everybody to catch up and probably pass us, so I don't know. I haven't seen the rest of the league's schedule, and I know that we're going to follow what we've got going on, but going into this break, and we have a few more weeks, and then we'll have another break with the All-Star break, and then it's going to be like of course, that run for your money kind of thing, to see where we want to sit.
I've seen a lot of stats that are saying that the Kings have the easiest schedule, and while that is probably true in terms of record for their upcoming opponents, that might not be true in terms of of how many games we have to play, because we're we're 4 and 5 behind everyone else. So would you rather want an easy teams but more games, or harder
I know,
teams but
right?
less games?
It's funny. I always think Boston Oilers always seem to get righted out with like playing the lower teams toward the end of the season, and they seem to have it easier while we're having to, play Boston, the Devils, the Penguins all in the same week. It's back to back to back.
It's not quite as bad as last year, but it's still, for the Rangers, it's still pretty bad.
For us, it's worse. I don't think it's been worse.
We'll have to see. I'm watching like moneypuck.com and and this data driven hockey stuff, and I like the odds, and I have to agree they kind of put the Rangers a little lower, and that reason being the inconsistency of stuff. I mean, we can watch them play an amazing game like they did yesterday, and then then they're kind of off, just from day to day. I feel people, at least on boards, are way over dramatic. I mean, when we lose one game, people are like, that was horrendous. It was a terrible loss. I mean, the words are crazy. I'm like, we're in first place. We're going to lose. It happens. I think
we're starting to get those fans, and we're trying our best to keep them down. At least
I can shoot a couple your way. Why don't you just go on NHL
yeah.
Uncensored and say like, go Kings, and then you'll get eaten alive. Even join the club.
I can't tell if people really believe some of this stuff, or if they're just trolling to get comments, because some of the stuff, like you can't lose one game and lose complete faith in your first place team. It just doesn't even make sense.
The kids, I call them the kids on the board that we're attached to now.
They're probably older than you are.
No, I know.
Leafs fans are like
I'm
that.
checking like on our board on Instagram, and I kind of did that. I'm like, you guys are so dramatic, especially the men.
Leafs fans have a lot of PTSD.
They're like, we're passionate. I'm like, I'm passionate too, but I'm like, just because we lose, it's not like those words are crazy. It's like, I compare it to when it rains here in LA, like it's drizzling now. The weather conditions are horrific. I'm like, it's very drizzling. So it's kind of the same thing. Passionate, there's passion, it's fine. But and we can't skip. I know the time's gonna be flying right now, but we cannot skip the fact that we did end yesterday with a Bread hat trick. And We really, and it was Shesterkin's birthday. I mean, I was even on the boards going, it would have been nice if he would have at least taken a shot on goal.
I think I said as I was watching the game, I'm like, this is the game he's going to score. They said he would do it in 2023. But no, unfortunately it didn't happen. It would have been so great on his birthday to have gotten that. And plus the goal for Tampa Bay was empty like half that game, half the third period. They pulled him in 8 minutes.
That we scored the extra goal, because then I'm like, oh, then they're not going to pull him. And, I was getting strategy in my mind. I'm like, they would pull him longer and more if you didn't score that goal. And I'm like, that was his. I mean, it was good. And then, Panarin's doing amazing.
So
and Mika's doing great. I mean, I think they're saying that, really he's only gone 6 or 8 games without even having a point for Artemi. So they're breaking franchise records right now.
And Trocheck, who's like kind of just had an absolutely amazing season.
You're going to have a problem getting him into the bromance stories, because he definitely has a key to that room now.
There's no problem.
So he's so there. He's been like, he's wanted in for so long, because the routine or their I don't know if it's a superstition, like it's what they do. It's not going to fail. It's Trocheck, and then he gets the little baby bro hug from Kreider, and then Mika, and then he goes off and then lets them two be alone.
Well, Trocheck and Panarin have had like great chemistry. Like that's been so. I have this, and I'll describe it for anyone who's just listening to this on audio. Trying to symbolize something that would show their chemistry together. That's Trocheck and Panarin. It's a spicy meatball and some bread.
Awesome meatball sandwich.
I was just going to say that sometimes maybe those guys just need a third, and they just welcome him in on occasion.
Exactly. If you can come up with a visual representation of that for a meme, I would be very grateful, because I'm racking my mind. If anyone has any ideas, please share. You know what I'm talking about. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
This is a great podcast.
Well, on that note, I know that there's a lot going around. There's a lot happening around the league. We also have some very exciting news that the PWHL is starting on January 1st, which is super exciting.
Let's go.
I did see that MSG is going to have all of the New York games, which means we're probably out of luck in terms of watching it.
They will be able to broadcast on YouTube. I was trying to find. I have a
live.
link.
Are they going to be live on YouTube?
I think so.
Apparently, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So
That's
I'll
huge.
post that today, and I'll share the link. I actually had a friend share the link. I was trying to find it where I can share it, but I wasn't able to do that. So, the PWH and starts tomorrow. So with the 6 original teams, and I think they have a 72 game season, which is huge.
It's pretty short, relatively than normal, but I'm excited. I'm very excited to watch the doubleheader tomorrow with the first PWH.
Yeah, Matt goes to the women's hockey games, and they're good. He went last time. That was on my birthday, so we didn't go because we were escape rooming.
That's exciting. Please share the link if you have it, because it would be great to watch, and
I'll put it out today. Yeah,
I completely understand why there isn't a West Coast team, just to minimize travel and all that. The second the league becomes big enough to get a West Coast team, I will be a season ticket member.
They also,
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm going to post too, because they actually described their logo, which people thought was boring. But the logo had all the symbolism in it. It has like 6 pieces that represent the 6 teams, and it was very intricate in the way it was designed, where it represented even the colors, which represented power, and stuff. I'm going to kind of put that on there too, to kind of get that league start. We were very excited to see it. MSG is going to be playing all the home games, I think is what they were saying, and is proud to kind of sponsor them in airing that, which is good. They did announce that during the Panthers game, which is exciting, and so that'll be. But I believe that all the games will be available on YouTube, and I'm going to go ahead I'll share that and post that as well, so that we can, begin to follow these six amazing teams and all these women that are involved in the leagues. They're excited. I keep seeing all their posts, and they're just traveling around in groups, taking pictures, enjoying everything, and they're very grateful and excited. For we're going to see the whole level of women coaches and men coaches and GMs. It's it looks just so exciting, and it all begins tomorrow, along with the Winter Classic. So
there was a ton of coverage on the PWHL last night on Hockey Night in Canada. Sarah Nurse sat down and did a pretty extensive interview, and it just sounds like there's a lot more power, I'm sure, money being spent. There's a lot more attention being put on this and effort in the background, I think, than to ensure that it doesn't, to ensure that it succeeds properly and it's set up for success in comparison to what the last league went through, which is great to see.
Something that got me single-handedly so excited for this league, because the league's been kind of sparse on branding. It's been kind of up to the players to establish personality, to establish a brand. New York's goalies, have you seen their pads? It's amazing. It's so I'm assuming that the color for New York is going to be the Liberty teal, the Liberty green, right?
That's what they've been posting.
Yeah.
Their regular Instagram has a lot of that teal.
The goalie, the starting goalie for the PWHL New York team is wearing, the Liberty green pads with the Statue of Liberty and the New York skyline on the bottom of it.
It's awesome.
Gorgeous set of pads.
And hopefully Bettman's not the commissioner to tell her that she can't do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what gets me excited about this league.
So, let's talk on that for just a second. I'm going to digress over, because one of the things we've seen to also close out this year are the number of players. We've seen a couple of teams. Matt and I were just talking about this the other day, because I think it was the New Jersey Devils that they focused on the news, but where they wore their Pride jerseys to walk in on Pride night. So they were, we're seeing just. I love seeing the players of the actions represent the majority of the fans, and also the majority of the opinion of the players, as we've learned. We talked about this earlier, where one of the players kind of spoke up about the earlier decisions in the beginning of a season made by the commissioner and and the league to ban Pride tape on sticks and warm up jerseys, and they're finding ways to just do it anyway. So you're seeing a lot of players doing Pride tape and warm ups. And teams that are, and some of those jerseys are amazing. Actually, the Devils one was pretty nice, actually. So we're seeing that, where they're kind of utilizing their opportunities to to use their voices in a way where it's not really going to get them in so much trouble in doing things. And I think it's smart. I like that they're and they can stand up. They don't have to yell and scream. They can just do what they need to do. And we're seeing teams doing that. So I like to see it more going into the second half of the season, and and hopefully all these specialized nights just kind of go off without hitches, and just it makes it enjoyable for each of the fans. Matt, I saw the Kings have a Japanese Heritage Night, and they released some new merch, and it looks pretty cool.
I have one of the jackets. It's very nice. It's amazing. How long until Bettman bans these, though?
Blink. Whenever it comes across an email, I'm sure he'll do it. But no one's going to care. And the PWHL too is strong in that way too. So they've been very supportive of decisions and speaking their minds as well. So they're speaking up. Since I think they have different commissioner, I think it's a little different. So they haven't gotten fined or anything from what I've seen. So it's good to see them speaking up too. And we're just hoping that it just goes in a better direction, from now until the end of each of these seasons. So
I'm sure that if the ladies can pull it together and do it well, which I'm sure they can, that the NHL can just piggyback onto that. They need it. And if Bettman can just kind of fade into the
let's see what happens.
Perhaps maybe there becomes one commissioner for both. You never know.
Yeah. And they're going to have a bigger presence in the All-Star schedule too, which will kind of follow, because we saw there was a lot of negative, misogynistic, people out there commenting on stuff when they they had, I think, 4 of the women out there playing and doing some exhibition, play there last year. But they're going to have more of a presence at the All-Star game this year. So we're going to, as we kind of get into the new year, we'll follow that because that's going to come up quickly next. For us, our focus is just getting situated because the Rangers are going to be in town. We're going to see them for 3 games in 4 days in just less than 3 weeks. And we'll get a break from that, focus on work and jobs and family, and then it'll be the All-Star game. So we'll start seeing if who do you think from the Rangers will get picked?
Interesting. I mean, it has to be Panarin. I can't imagine
Quick.
him not.
Quick.
I mean,
When do you think
quick.
that'll come out? When does that start coming out in the next 2 weeks, Matt? You know the time frame on that. When do we start
What
seeing
for the All-Star for the All-Star game rosters?
the voting.
Yeah.
Have you heard how they're doing it this year? They're doing
Oh boy.
no, I think they're doing like a fantasy draft like they used to do in 2015. So it should be pretty cool. They're getting rid of divisions and conferences.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, should be good.
Yeah, we'll start seeing the news on that in the next couple of weeks. So that'll just definitely give us something to focus on into the new year and seeing who, because there's a lot of great players. We've got a great team. That's one of the things we're always proud of is that everybody can score. Everybody does score. And the more that Liz complains about Miller, the better he does.
The better he plays. I agree.
I know. I was like,
he played really well.
complain about. I love the ball. So we got prayer candles too for going into the year.
Yes, we do.
Like,
Yes, we do.
The more I
And
complain
on that
about
note,
spoilers.
on that note, everyone, just to wrap up today's episode, I'd love to ask you what your NHL New Year's resolution is. And I will go first. My New Year's resolution is to keep more of an open mind about Miller. I will try not to complain about him. I will try to see him for the good side. That is my New Year's resolution. Sarah, would you like to go next?
No, I need to go last, I think. Thank you.
Anyone else? New Year's resolutions for NHL 2024?
Buy more jerseys.
That's a great one.
Actually,
good
well,
one.
I haven't even planned my trip to New York yet, so as a resolution, maybe actually, I kind of would like to try to watch more games outside of Ranger games.
That's a good one.
Because it's been kind of fun. I've been kind of flipping it over. I like to watch Boston lose. They lose their minds, and it's fun. But as it gets closer, we're gonna have more competition, and it's a way to kind of analyze and be able to discuss more. Going through. So this season, in doing this podcast, it makes you focus on the games. I'm upset when I have to miss a game, or I'm listening to it on the radio in the car, going out somewhere. So it's been interesting to watch it in different ways. Or when I have 2 paid services, and yet, when you play the Kings, we're still blacked out on stuff. So, I have to have my child send a link, from something that he can get. So, it's like we find it on different ways to do it. And so I like to try to catch more games and get better perspective, of some of the other teams and the other players. I do monitor people's ice time on stuff, because my thought on that, it's like they can make a player great by giving him all the time he wants and giving him the puck all the time and make him great versus an actual kind of a team playing, environment. And it's funny because that's the thing I actually put up today on our storyline is New Year's resolutions. And it's cute. It was put up by the NHL where it's like what I plan to do. And I'm just going to kind of go because it's super cute. It's like what I plan to do is I'm going to stop yelling at the TV. And what I'll actually do is how are the players going to know when to shoot the puck unless I yell at the TV? Liz and I know that because the more we yell, the more we know that they hear us.
Obviously.
So we need to say more.
I tend to be I like to be a smarter fan and a more intelligent fan and yell intelligent things like go.
Like positive reinforcement.
Yeah, for sure.
It was always a hockey mom thing. They're like, hockey parents, yell as much as you want into the glass. They can't hear you. You do whatever you want. They can't hear anything.
I just thought of a resolution to
Oh,
get
yeah?
more people to listen to Double Defense, to really
Exactly.
talk it up.
There's your
So
goal,
that would be
Michelle.
a good one. That would be a good. I'll get some of the over 55 crowd on board, because people right away say, "Oh, I don't like hockey." My answer to that is, have you ever seen hockey live? So that particularly makes a difference.
Oh, I
So
will. I
that's
will say
and
in our
have you ever listened to Double Defense? So I want to bring that to the table, bring that to the forefront.
recap for the year, we get told some stats about this podcast, one of which I will share right now. It gave us the top city in the entire world that listened to us. And we have some New York fans. Obviously, Los Angeles is represented. Alberta, very well represented. We have a regular listener in
I
Virginia.
don't know,
We have
where's
regular
Vegas on
listener
that one? I'm
in
Vegas
Germany.
needs to be on there somewhere.
Someone in Germany listens to us all the time, which we really appreciate. But our number one city, Delray Beach, Florida. So thank you.
You're welcome. You guys are outstanding. Bravo. Best in 2024.
There's a lot lots going to happen next year. It's exciting. We want to do more with our network that we're with now, and some fun sponsors, and and we are definitely speaking. This will be the year of having a lot more guests. Our list is growing, guys. I've got, every time I talk to somebody, they're like, I know somebody who does this, and so it's going, and it's starting to fly. So we definitely kind of just grow that list and start making stuff happen, and getting out there more into the world, and then start kind of handing out stickers, tattoos, maybe an autograph here or there. Well, just watch out, we're coming for you. So, and exploring new places and cities and stuff. So, definitely want to be trying to kind of do that more too. So, there's more resolutions that the NHL put out. I think they kind of ripped us off a little bit, because it's involving, I'm going to wash my gear more. I'm like, were they just listening to our last episode? And then what they'll actually do is, like, it doesn't even smell that bad. So it's there's a lot of cute ones. I'll let you go and look at it. It's on NHL too. That's kind of where I grabbed it from. But basically, it was there to promote that tomorrow morning is the Winter Classic game. It's kind of a tradition. Matt's around. We usually sit and watch it or go watch it. So
I'm excited. It's finally relevant to me. It's not two East Coast teams. It actually somewhat impacts our standings. So
who do you think is going to win that tomorrow? Like, Kraken's kind of like, they can do well. I definitely enjoy their announcers. I'm never going to hide that.
I think Vegas will win, not just because they're the better team, but also away teams have a distinct advantage for some reason. Like, I'm going to look up the stat now, but
with the Classic.
Yeah, so no, not just the Classic, but also not just the Classic, but other away or other outdoor games. For some reason, the away team wins most of the games. Well,
Sarah's gonna bolt.
Bye, Sarah. Bye. Yeah, for some reason, the away team always wins most of the games.
That's interesting.
I think the record
What
in
does
the
that
NHL
mean for us when we're playing?
I think the record in the NHL is 10 for the away team and 4 for the home team.
Interesting.
Something like that. I'll see if I can try to find it while we finish this out. But
well, we'll dig a little bit more into that, and I'm sure in our next episode we'll do a recap of how that went. On that note, everybody, I wanted to wish you a very happy 2024. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to another great year with you guys. Thank you so much.
Let's go Rangers.
Bye-bye.
And everybody else, as long as they're behind us. So yay.
Bye.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year, everybody. Cheers.